If you're watching this video, you're probably a business owner trying to create content to create leads for your business, which everyone and their grandmother is trying to do right now, including myself. And I want to share some insight that I've had over the last 6 months, creating over 50 videos, creating over 250 shorts, managing a team of content creators, gaining almost 20,000 subscribers, gaining almost 10,000 followers on Instagram aggregated. I think the main thing that I want to get into specifically is starting correctly, because I'm by no means large enough to tell you how to scale a content division. I've worked with people who have and who are capable of telling you that. But for now, what I can tell you, what I can teach you is how to get your first 10, 20,000 subscribers for your business so that you can create more lead flow. And the main thing that I, after meditating on this really and praying on this over the last few days, have realized is the best way to verbiate this to a business owner is starting content is really like starting a new business. It's a completely different wavelength than business, but more so, it's also like starting again from scratch and trying to get your first $10,000 per month. You know, the way to get to $10,000 a month, all you have to do is work really hard, but then to grow, you actually have to start to think. For you guys, pretend your content is still like they're trying to get to $10,000 a month. It's still like all you're trying to do is create videos and get stuff out there. I don't know if you remember when you started in business or if you've ever coached anyone starting in a business, but everyone always does the same thing when they start. They try to conceptualize everything that they want to do to make their business the next billion-dollar business. They think about all of these missions and systems and things that they're going to develop when they have a 100-person team and such, but they've never even gotten their first client. They are more concerned about the problems they're going to have when they start to get to $1 million a month or $1 million a year than the problems that they have right now, which is, again, no paying clients. The trademarks of a beginner business are all the same. They just are future-pacing problems that don't exist at the expense or realistically, purposely, to defer the problems that currently exist, which are that they're scared to do outreach with people who could possibly end up signing for their services. They're scared to get rejected. I talked about recently on a video, Man Plans, God Laughs. At the end of the day, once you put your plan to action and once you actually start putting feet to ground, everything it goes out the wayside. Once bullets start flying and things get a little bit chaotic in the business, everything you planned out just goes away. And you have to now innovate and strategize and audible based on what you're seeing on the playing field. If you don't know, I have this private community called Daily Bread. It's for Christian business people to further their knowledge in business, but also realistically make God the CEO of their business. It's my own private journal. It's a cool Christian entrepreneurial community. I'll link a video talking about it down below. I'm not actually trying to talk about that, but the reason I got started on YouTube was the foundation of that community was my very first videos that I ever made, and they were private videos hosted in the Slack space. And I'm going to paraphrase a lot of this, but the reason we started with YouTube is we wanted better analytics for that group on people watching, watch times, etc. And then once we got on YouTube, I couldn't do the normal Zoom recording stuff that I was doing because the resolution sucked on YouTube. You can really tell a difference on 480 or 560p, whatever the resolution is from Zoom recordings. You can tell a difference when it's on YouTube and people are watching it on TV. And so I started using the 4K cameras. And then when we started using 4K cameras and now we had editing delay and operational lag, I started actually putting more emphasis into the videos. And since I put more emphasis in the videos got a little more beefy and a little more fun. And then I realized, why am I doing all of this for 50 views in a private journal when I could just put that out into the world and see what God does with it. And he's done amazing things. We've grown tremendously in 6 months. I think we've grown extremely quickly in 6 months. But because I never thought about getting onto YouTube, I never strategized and I never created the plans that most people try to create, just like when you're a new business owner, everyone tries to do the same thing with YouTube. You don't know what your niche is, and it's incredibly hard to create ads. It's hard to copyright. It's hard to create headlines, email marketing, message outbound, etc., because you don't know who you're speaking to. And I think the problem that I'm struggling with right now when it comes to thinking about how to talk, how to speak, concepts, is we don't know who we're talking to. And if we don't know who we're talking to, we're making videos that we hope hits somebody, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I've worked with hundreds of business owners in the last 12 months. And they all have the same struggle with content. What should I record content on? How do I do it? How do I do the thumbnails, etc.? I never actually thought about any of that because my entry was fluid. But had I not done it the way I did, I probably would have been paralyzed with the exact same analysis paralysis that everyone else does. And what I recognized after really thinking about this is that creating content, no matter how versed you are, you could be doing $1 million a month, $2 million a month, 200,000 a month, 20,000 a month. It doesn't really matter where you are in business. And based on where you are in business, I should caveat, you should be creating different types of content based on where you're at in business. But it really doesn't matter how mature you are in business. It's like you're starting from scratch again when you start the content game. And you're starting it with the perception of trying to strategize everything. So just like you did when you were a business owner trying to first start, but then just like when you're in business first starting, when you create content and you actually put face to camera to post editing, and then you actually put something live on YouTube, everything changes. I've now made 52 videos this year on YouTube, and it's grown relatively well. We're almost at 20,000. but I'm struggling to understand who I'm talking to now. Because what's happened as I've created videos all around business and then had a little bit of my Christian side in there and such, and the videos that have blown up have all been around Christianity in business or God in business. You'll create content that you think people are going to love that they don't. You'll create content that you have no idea people are going to love that they do. And then you start to play with it. It took 50 something videos for us to start to have an idea on how to create content that people are actually going to enjoy and engage with based on apparently how I'm delivering it. I'm going to zoom back for a second. This video has a lot less of a frame, but I hope someone can learn something from this. At the beginning of the year, the only thing I knew I wanted to do was short form content. That was as public as I was going to go. Specifically podcasts, take the podcast, clip them into short forms, post them on Daily Wisdom, Daily Shorts, etc. We're finding are the best short form podcasts by far. I've done direct to camera short form, which kind of did okay, but not great. I've done YouTube content short form, which same thing, some do well, some kind of okay, etc. The podcast ones, it was like every single one was hitting. Oh, there was almost never a non-hit in the podcast ones. It was 3 posts a day on Instagram. That was my organic strategy. 3 posts a day, just record content for recording content. Eventually it was post a video in that Slack space every single day, daily bread, 5 days a week. That ended up becoming YouTube. And then I took that same thing into YouTube, which was ideally post a video every single day, get something out there. And it forced me just to work. It's like doing your prospecting messages when you're doing outbound messaging to start a business. It just put something out there, get the videos out, get the short form videos out, get the long form videos out. It was input, just focus on input. That's what you do to get to $10,000 a month. That's what I did to get to 20,000 subscribers, or just short. Now what I'm recognizing is I'm finally at a point where it feels weird to keep putting that input in, because like my business owner brain's coming into this now. It's like, where's the leverage? I'm missing the leverage. And it's because I haven't strategized. So realistically, once you start to actually get a little validation with your offer and your prospecting and your messaging, now you probably want to build a funnel. You probably want to get some ads going. You probably want to get some organic marketing going for it. I never did that with content. And I'm on a call yesterday with my team and I'm thinking, when you create a system that works, you always put effort into it, but the effort just starts to get more and more and more compounding output. And it didn't feel like content was doing that. And I recognize it's because I'm doing the exact same thing. It's like I created this business and validated an offer, but I'm still only doing outbound messaging. I'm not creating videos to bring inbound leads in. I'm not running any kind of ads. I'm just doing my 40 outbound messages on Facebook and Instagram every single day. That's actually what I did when I first started my real estate marketing agency, just an FYI. And I shouldn't expect much more compounding results because I'm just doing something that's not high leverage. And so for the first time ever, my team and I had a content strategy call. What if we, example given, had only concepts on one like only Christian business concepts on one channel? Would the subscribe per video rate be higher?
Expectations. If people expect a video, for example, about Christianity every week, so they know what they're getting. They're getting a video on Christianity every week. And the people coming for business, they know they're going to get a video on business still every week, this day or something like that.
I think it's so funny to look at the fact that we've had what most people would deem as like genuine YouTube success, if you will, 20,000 subs in 6 months. And then I think we're on a really good pace to get really good numbers next year. And all we did is work really hard. It was just sheer volume inside of a very shortened window. It's almost like when you're trying to scale a business either to 10 or from 10 to 100, or if you're trying to go from 100 to 500, what gets you to one level is not what gets you to the next. And I actually have to put my thinking brain on now. Based on where you're at in business, you can get to $10,000 a month with no thought at all. You can have a terrible offer, but just from sheer input, you'll get people to buy. You can get to 100,000 a month. You have to have a better offer, a validated offer. In this case, realistically, whatever we're talking about on YouTube has to have some validation and some kind of people wanting to watch it. But you don't really have to think about strategy to get to 100,000 a month. Again, it's really just input and validated offer. But to get to $1 million a month, I don't really know anyone that I would say is anything less than just incredibly intelligent or incredibly thoughtful that gets to $1 million a month. It's always incredibly thought out. It's strategized. There's a reason behind everything. But the reason I wanted to share this with you, the reason I'm telling you this, is if you're thinking about creating content and you're a mature business owner who could be making $1 million a month, $100,000 a month, 500, doesn't really matter. You probably think that you are approaching content with a strategy. You're probably trying to think about the strategy as to how you should approach content. If you think about it, you're probably doing the exact same thing you did when you first started in business, and you know how stupid it was to do all that, but you're putting yourself in the same box now because content's just a different wave. It's almost like all the business acumen you have just goes out the window with content, and you just got to put the repetition in. So I would encourage you, create videos just to create videos. There's a line that I heard that I love, which is that quality is the goal, but quantity is how you get there. Quality, which is what you're kind of looking for right now, comes with quantity. You really don't know what you're supposed to create or the style that you have, etc., until you just create a lot of it. And so example given, when we started at the beginning of the year, we did this Zoom style. Now we're doing this kind of raw style. I like both, but I think that they both have different cases. And like, I'm learning a lot more about how I need to create content based on what the feedback is, what I enjoy, what my retention rates are, etc. Only way to find quality is to put a ton of quantity in. We found a lot about what we like to record, what people like to listen to, editing styles that we like, editing styles people like when they're watching it. We found so much out that we wouldn't have found out if we were focused on systemizing, creating strategy, making quality videos, etc. We just created a lot. And so that's what I would recommend. If you're trying to create lead flow for your business with content, and you're not really creating any kind of content because you don't know what you need to be creating, just start recording stuff, and something eventually will stick and hit and run with it. And of course, make sure that there's a reason that you're creating whatever you're creating, that you can, that it's not just for vanity. Eventually, something will just start to make sense. And that really only comes when you start to put face to camera, feet to ground videos on YouTube, and people will react or not react, and then you adjust and audible as the chaos comes in. So hope this helps. Love you guys much. Until next time, happy hunting. Can you imagine watching this video and just being like, wow, this is a good video. And at the very end, you just see us right here saying like, I don't have the life or energy to keep doing this stuff. Ollie, if you put this in there, can you please have a specific clip of Mary just playing with her hair, and then B-roll the clip from earlier in the video too of her playing with her?
No need to tell me.
I said to both of you that I want to work with you guys for decades to come. The downside of that is that, guys, for decades to come, we're going to be going through freaking videos of just me talking and doing this exact same thing for years and years and years. And so buckle up.
That sounds fun, bro.
It does sound fun, but I can't.